All right. I think what we're going to do is we're going to start with the Christmas special while we're waiting on him and see if this works out. I mean, because then if he doesn't show, then we'll get those done and out of the way since we're here.
Okay.
So, um, first one is
Pre-Christmas.
yeah. So this is going to be like the okay. So we'll do it right before Christmas Eve, and then the second one will be Christmas Day.
Yep.
So we're going to dive in and do. I don't know. We won't go super long, but we'll just basically do like a holiday week. And let's talk about. Let's see. Are we recording? We are recording. So I hit record. So for those people that are here, Merry Christmas, almost. Um, so let's see. So we do our pre-Christmas special. Um, we'll do like a quick. I think a quick little like looking back. Uh, Sort of like this standard, like look back on your year because we haven't really talked about that because we're doing other stuff. So we were going to dive right into it and do that. God, I look a little blurry today. Maybe it's just because I didn't have enough tea. Maybe I had too much tea. Just trying to get everything going here. Not the lighting that I wanted, but here, let's see. Do I have like a thing? I've also been like downsizing, moving stuff. And I wonder if I so you'd have something just in case if I have like a something screwing up my okay. Not my camera. All right, we're gonna do the 3, 2, 1. Have you centered yourself? One. Oh, hello and welcome back. And yes, we are in a holiday special. So we are at this point, as you guys are get my hat straight. As you guys are listening, then we are day before Christmas Eve, and then Christmas, and then Boxing Day for those of you guys that box, a little different box. But this is the Developmeneur Podcast, Building Better Developers. I am Rob Broadhead, one of the founders of Developmeneur, also the founder of RB Consulting, where we help you assess your technology, where your business is at, and then build a roadmap for success. Good thing, bad thing. And then since this is a Christmassy special, I'll do like a good thing, bad thing for the year, just to like expand it out a little bit. This has been a really interesting year from a business point of view. Looking at both the Developmeneur stuff and the RB Consulting stuff, there has been the good thing is that we have survived another year. That we've made it to the end and. Like we haven't had to close the shop or anything like that. So I guess that's very good. Also, we've gotten made some progress on the working on the business. This has been probably one of the better years for working on the business overall. There's definitely been some struggles along the way, but like making some changes and stuff like that has been definitely a good year. Bad thing is probably that it hasn't gone as well as I would have liked. When I started out this year, when I did my first quarter, my looking ahead goals for the year and first quarter stuff, there was some growth stuff that I didn't do. The company did not grow the way I would like it to. I could say that economy and some of that kind of stuff had something to do with it, but that is, it is what it is. And it's one of those that the good news about it is at least in not doing so, I was able to work on the business as opposed to like ramping up and onboarding other people. But also I didn't have to onboard my co-host that is going to go ahead and introduce himself.
Hey everyone, my name is Michael Meloche. I'm one of the co-founders of Building Better Developers, also known as Developmeneur. I'm also the founder of Envision QA, where we work with businesses that are tired of fighting their software. We build and test custom solutions that actually fit the way you work, so you can put out the fires and start focusing on growth and your customers. Good thing and bad thing for the year. Good thing, took on a big project this year, and it's been a lot of fun kind of working on it, building it. But also on the flip side of that, the bad thing was a lot of growing pains, a lot of trying to figure things out. Also, this particular project took my company in directions that wasn't kind of the core focus of my company. So being able to work on my business wasn't really one of the focuses this year, which I had wanted it to be. it became more working in the business because it was a little bit more of a stretch for for the direction that I was taking the company. So a little more time doing work than building the tools and things I want to build for my company. So looking forward, I'm planning for more of that to kind of reset towards the end of the year and get into a more of a working on the business as Rob's been doing versus being heads down for months at a time.
And that's actually a really good segue into our holiday special. In years past, almost every year as we get towards the end of the year, there have been episodes where we talk about like getting into the fourth quarter and planning for that, and how do you figure out where you want to go for the next year and things like that. And we really haven't touched on that this year as much because we've been deep into interviews and things of that nature. We haven't really had any like too many enough step back and just say like, hey, how are things going kinds of episodes. But I think as you get into this, like, at this point, as you're listening to this, you're into basically the last week of the year. And it is really a good time, if you haven't already, but definitely now, is to sort of look back, like, what did you accomplish this year? Where did you go? And it's sort of like, as Michael said, and actually, as I said a little bit, it's like, what work did we get done on our business? What work do we want to get done on our business? And I think this is a perfect time to look at, okay, well, what do you want to do for the year ahead? Now, this is where I'm gonna beat that drum again about doing things like doing a Pomodoro or something along that lines. But along the same way is the incremental improvement, is keeping momentum moving forward. One of the things that I have struggled with a little bit, but have somewhat maintained through this year, is doing like regularly touching some of these areas, some of the businesses. What you're going to see, what you should see by now, because we are recording this a little before today for you, is some of the updates that Developmeneur will be. They're rolling out as I'm working on them. They're going to be rolling out fairly soon. We're going to redo a lot of that. I've been working on that on the background, redesigning stuff, doing a lot of, we'll call it app work kind of stuff with Developmeneur to try to get that kind of thing set up. But also on RB Consulting side, we have got now a half dozen different apps that we've done that are brand new, that are to help us out. Not to mention, and those are the public facing ones, not to mention the ones that are behind the scenes. We've revamped the back end systems, made a lot of changes to do sort of what we talked to other customers about. Is we've actually decided we're just going all custom and have brought all of our stuff in. We're eliminating licenses and stuff like that left and right, and building our own back office systems for everything from proposal writing to time tracking to statuses, all of the stuff, all the things. And the way I got here was through incremental stuff, was sitting there each week and saying, I need to give at least, X hours to this, an hour to this, an hour to that, an hour to the other thing. Part of that I was pushed on a little bit from the networking side. That was one of the pieces that is like, that's not my cup of tea. But doing the networking and the marketing and just making sure that that's the stuff that I do touch on a regular basis has made a difference. There is definitely, I've got a lot more relationships that I've now built. I've had several. It's amazing in the last year or two how long invested relationships have become very valuable and have helped me with with the bottom line even of the company, but also just to have a de facto board of sorts, and being able to have conversations with people. So I highly recommend, as you look into the year ahead, as you set some goals, but also set micro goals. Like what are you going to do to get there? As a bonus, you can go to, you'll see a link for the Goals app, Dreamora, Dreamora, because we have to have cool names for stuff. It was originally just called Goals, but I'm not a marketing guy, like I said. It may be a good way for you to do something like that, for you to just but whether you use that or not, it's just using something that is even pencil and paper is like, lay out some goals, lay out the steps you need to get there, and then make sure you're making progress on them. It is so easy to get lost in the business. It is so easy to get lost just week in and week out. And honestly, I preach this to my team on a regular basis too. It's like they've got a lot going on. They've got work, they've got life, and all that. But I'm constantly saying, hey, take a couple hours out of each week. I need you to do professional development stuff. Basically working on your business, or as your business of being a professional of your career, because that helps all of us. And I think that's where that's sort of my Christmas present to you as a listener is just, even if it's a pomodoro of like just 15 minutes, even just 15 minutes, set a timer and say, I'm going to work on this for 15 minutes. Even if you only get 2 minutes of work done, if you do that even 5 days a week, it's a little over an hour and you will see progress. And the more you do it, I think it will snowball. So those are my thoughts. How about you, Michael? Because I know you've been a little bit different, but I've also are feeling the same pains.
I am. And it's interesting. I was going to kind of start out with the same approach, but like the little micro goals and that, because one of the things that I have been a little split this year is I have two big projects in two different technologies. So my biggest problem is it's like, okay, in one path over here, I'm using Django, Python, Apache web development. On the other side, I'm doing a lot of backend stuff with Java, Kubernetes, Redis, things of that nature. And those are two different worlds. And you spend a lot of mental shift going back and forth between those. One of the things where Rob gave a lot of good ideas for personal development and setting small goals. One of my recommendations to the listeners here is take some time for rest, reset. We talked to Mr. Productivity in a previous interview, and one of the big things that I've started to try to implement is literally not only do I turn off like the nanny stuff with my devices and that, like turn off the distractions like Facebook, YouTube, things like that, but disconnect from digital devices altogether. Get away from the screens. Let your eyes rest. Read a book. Just don't look at screens for a couple of days. I did that over Thanksgiving. I took 2 days off. The only screen I watched was football on Thanksgiving because I wanted to see if my Lions would win. And of course, they lost. But it's one of those where we really need to force ourselves to take that break. Yes, there are a lot of things we need to continuously do, but you need to schedule in days of rest. There's a reason, blue laws used to be that everything was shut down on Sundays in the South because they knew people needed rest time. They needed to go to church. They needed to spend time with family. Do that this holiday. Do that in this final quarter. Rest, reset, and then as you start mentally clearing that fog, look at setting those personal goals. Look at, okay, now that I've kind of reset mentally, how can I start self-improving? What's the next thing I need to learn? What's the next thing I need to do for my business? What's the next thing I need to do for my customer? Mental breaks aren't just not just a suggestion. They are something we need to do more often. Yes, there's times where you need to power through and you need to stay focused and you need to get things done, but there's a cost to you reach a certain point where getting things done is not conducive, or if you're so mentally fogged, mentally fatigued that you're not getting, yes, you're getting it done, but it's taking you 10 times the effort to get it done because you just aren't able to focus, or you're just so far in the weeds that, hey, it's time to take a break, time to step away. Now, given where you're at, my recommendation is go for a walk. If it's too bloody cold, find a mall if they still exist, or find like a large food court or something, and just go for a walk. Go walk around. Maybe enjoy some of the holiday food that's out there. Avoid the cookies because that may be too much of a sugar rush, but maybe do some chai tea, some apple cider, but get out, walk around, go look at some Christmas lights. The other thing too is look at your community, see what's going on. Maybe there's some community things you can go do, like lighting of Christmas tree. Now, granted, that's probably already passed at this point, but with New Year's around the corner, there might be some concerts coming up, might be some outdoor festivals coming up. Get out and just reconnect with your community, reconnect with people, and then reset and step back into your business. I think you'll have a different focus when you do that.
I think that's a great point. one of the things that I've done the last couple of years, not going to lie, it's sort of been forced upon me in a sense by my wife, and just in the whole, and not, it's not in a bad way. It's basically in getting back into like while we're dating and all that kind of stuff. Really got myself into more of a, we'll call it a 9 to 5 kind of schedule again. Whereas like I would get towards the end of the day and it's like, okay, well, it's time to go do something, whatever it is in life, even if it's just like go out for eat or, go out or sit down for dinner or something like that. Getting into that routine again, and it's been a long time since I've done it, but having those deadlines basically of like I've got X amount of time in a day and not trying to just blow it out and just be like, okay, well, if I don't get it done by 5, then I'll get it done by 6 or get it done by 7 or I'll get it done by 8. I think it for me, it's helped quite a bit because it is, I've shrunk my to-do list for each day a little bit. And I really have forced myself each day to be like, it's going to be there tomorrow. And that, getting away has helped. I've actually, I think, been more productive. And we've preached this for a long time. It's like there's a certain point where you run out of, once you get to, depending on where you're at, past 40 or 50 or 60 hours of work in a week, and it's probably closer to 40 than 60 for most of us, even though we don't realize it, is that you're starting to spin your wheels. The productivity is not there. You have got to shift gears. You've got to find something else to do. Now, that is part of the bonus I have of being able to work on my business and in my business. And even though I'm working in multiple technologies, being able to shift gears is refreshing within itself. But then still, you got to go out and like live life, go out there and like Michael said, go for a walk, get a regular exercise routine. I, for years, did ice hockey was my thing. And I was like, I had to do that. And I knew because it was for physical, but it was very much for mental stuff. It's like, if I didn't do it, then it caused me a lot of, I was not as nice a person. I was not as happy a person because I didn't have my thing that allowed me to just disconnect. And that doesn't mean that's yours. It's like, but whatever your disconnect is, the thing you can do, and if you don't have it, find it. Find something, whether it's like going for a walk and smelling the flowers, or whether it's like maybe it's cooking, or it's watching some mindless TV show or something where it's just like allowing you to disconnect for a while. And it may just be like take a shower or sit back and just stare at a roaring fire for a little bit. I don't know what it is, but find that thing. It will make you better in the long run. It doesn't mean you're going to have to, it's not like go do that every day for 8 hours a day or something like that. But it is something that I think you need to find a way to work into your schedule in the year ahead. And I think you'll thank us for it. I think you'll be very happy, and you'll thank yourself for doing so, because it does allow you to reset, and allows you to like lower your angst and all your worries and stuff like that. It allows you actually to get on an even keel, and you'll find that you actually work better when you do so. Closing thoughts?
Yeah, the only thing I'd close with here is, as we get ready for Christmas in a couple of days, take that break, take that time out, in that mindset, and get ready to spend some time with family, watch some Christmas specials. This is the feel-good time of the year. Spend time with family, friends, kick back, rest a little bit, and prepare for the new year.
Yep. The year will be there. It's waiting for you. Don't worry. You can take a little bit of time and take a day off and enjoy friends and family and things of that nature. And yes, you can even indulge a little bit in the sweets and the food and all the other goodness that is part of like a good gathering. And if you don't have a big gathering, go find one. There's stuff out there. There are places you can go to, just like Michael said, like find something community, go out, find some events, things like that. Get out and enjoy, because yes, it comes every year, but it only comes for a little bit. And the next thing you know, boom, it's like middle of January or February, and it's like you're back into like the slog. So enjoy it while it lasts. As always, out there and have yourself a great day, a great Christmas season, New Year's, and all that, the whole week that you have ahead of you. And we'll talk to you next time.